Hey, there he is.
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Um,
Just living the COVID dream.
I think isn't everybody?
Yeah, we're really doing it.
Yeah. How has lockdown been for you?
Not too bad, trying to make the best of it, trying to stay busy, get things done that I've always needed to do or, coming up with new things. I mean, it took a while like anybody, but hanging in there.
You proper dived into the whole social media streaming thing with like Bone for Soup and the movie talks and everything. Is it just trying to keep busy, or is it just trying to think of something new and interesting to keep you sane?
Um Yeah, it's trying to keep busy. I mean, at the first of COVID, I didn't really know why it was stressing me out so much, and then I figured it out. I mean, it was the empty calendar. My life is completely calendar driven and always has been. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, you've got these 2 weeks and you're gone, and then you're home for this amount of time. So here's how much, here's what you need to get done in those weeks or whatever, and then you're going out this, and it was just blank. Um, and so it's a pretty big stress factor for me. But so I started filling it up with things, and it was the smartest thing that I could have done. I mean, it was great for me. It was great for my fans who, pretty much were with me, every week and still are. I mean, I'm super lucky, man. It's awesome. So yeah, still just trying to get through this whole thing.
Well, I think yours is the first tour everyone's going to. Uh,
Yep.
so no pressure there. Um,
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. I feel like we're gonna be cutting it close, but I have faith. I try to think positive. I know I'm starting to see bands announce for like June and July and things like that. I think with May, we're taking a chance, but the fans don't seem to be you know that concerned. They're still getting the tickets because they know whether or not let's say that we're 90% sure it's going to happen. If the 10% doesn't, we just reschedule it and we can do it again at a later time. But I'm trying to think positive. I mean, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to play shows.
I think when you announced the Seaside Tour, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's a pretty cool idea." And I've seen the other people talking about it. And yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think it's been done. I think you're quite limited on venues in a seaside town,
yeah,
unless you
yeah.
play bandstands. But
Yeah, it was one of those things where we always come over and do a big tour, and then we come over and we do smaller markets and vice versa. Excuse me. And so we were just there in February, which you know is odd because February seems like an eternity ago, but it also seems. But I also can't believe it's almost Christmas. Like it's a
yeah,
very weird feeling. Um, but yeah, so we're coming over to do to basically we're going to come over and do a Christmas tour, which would probably be happening right now. And so obviously that went by the wayside with
yeah.
COVID, and so we decided to keep the same sort of markets, but really just try to do something different. And I mean, I understand that there's people from northern more cities that are like, you need to come up here or whatever. But my answer to them is, you have several months to make your travel plans, and they're
Yeah.
basically giving hotels away now. Like they're literally like they're
Buy
begging.
one room, get one free.
Yeah, they're begging you to come stay. So make a couple of days out of it and come down to the sea and come see Bowling for Soup when it's not. I mean, we're always there in October or February when it's just shitty weather and you
Freezing
know,
cold.
yeah, come see us when I mean, I know that it'll be at least we might see the sun, which is rare for us in the UK.
Yeah. Unless you play festivals, then it's always hit or miss.
Yeah, well, it's funny because you have those shitty rainy days at the festivals, and then I mean it just mud and everything. That despite if the sun comes back out or not, to me it's just like, oh, But I love the passion, man. There's nothing like a UK festival on the planet.
Well, I'm looking forward to any future festival dates. but mainly the UK tour. Because
Yeah.
definitely, I mean, is there backups, contingencies with this tour, like with support bands and stuff like that?
Absolutely. Yeah, we had backup contingency before we even announced. So if it doesn't happen, it'll move to the following year, but there'll be another tour in the middle of that,
Okay.
I think, where we come back over. So,
A top up.
yeah. So, and I don't know how all that'll work. Again, I just know that, we needed to have a plan so that, we could secure the venues and all of that to make sure that people were still going to get their tickets.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, right now the plan, get in there and do this thing, man. And I really have a good feeling about it. It certainly seems like with you guys starting to get the vaccine already, and we're definitely, it's starting to happen over here. And hopefully with the new administration coming in here in January, we can get some people to start wearing some masks and that. I don't mean that to be super political. I don't talk about that.
No, I was going to say, how do you guys get the vaccine over there? I mean, we can just go to like a GP and just kind of get it. Do you have to like register or apply or?
Eventually it'll just be available everywhere. I mean, they're starting to ship it out everywhere, but they'll do first responders and some more highly influential people first, and try to get the stigma of the whole thing under control, and then we'll be able to just go get it anywhere.
Oh, awesome! I was gonna say you could just wait till you come over here, but then there's that.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, that would be likely be my first time on an airplane since the last tour. I've only been to 2 restaurants since March.
Really?
I've been to the movies like 3 times. Like we just kind of have our little bubble and we stay here, that we went and made a new record. But for the most part, I haven't been out to do anything. So, I'll probably be fairly anxious about it regardless. So hopefully, we will have it before then.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. You recorded the whole album at yours, or did you do it in like each home studio?
No, man. We so normally we would do it in a lot home studios, and sorry.
That's cool, man. You've just woke up?
Yeah, kind of. No, I've actually had a long morning. I've been up. It's 11. I've been up since 6:30. I had to take my kid to school, and then I got all 3 of my dogs went to the vet for checkups today, and so I'm sort of just getting settled in my office, and I think my oxygen level is making me yawn. But yeah, no. Again, it's a reaction to COVID. Honestly, I mean, we had no plans of making a record this year, and we just, not being able to be together and canceling tours and all this, and it was just like, man, we got to do something and go somewhere and just be together and be productive. And so, yeah, we actually took a tour bus to the Poconos, which is up in Pennsylvania. It's where Rob lives, about 7 miles from his house. And we Airbnb'd a house that was about a mile from the studio. So we were completely isolated in our house. And then we went to the studio and back, and that's all we did. And we took a tour bus back. And it was great, man. It was an awesome experience. It was very good for us all to be together. Very happy with what came out of it too.
Oh, awesome. Was it an easy album to write, or was it kind of like see how this goes, or you just have loads of material already written?
Man, it just came out, just it was like it's a little different. I mean, usually if I either write it or I co-write it with Linus or someone, outside of the band, but Rob actually co-wrote 2 songs with me. And I wrote one with my old friend Zach Malloy, I think 2 with Linus, but for the most part, man, they just kind of just came out, and everybody was stoked. Like, it, not just the band, anybody who's familiar with the band that was there in the studio or whatever was just like, holy shit, like it's I really think that the fans are gonna dig it.
So how did Rob step up to the plate? It's his first Born for Soup album.
Man, he stepped up in a big way. He, as I said, he sent me 2 musical beds that I ended up using, and I usually don't write that way, but he sent me 2 beds of music that I ended writing top line over, and um, those both of those songs are going to make the record. And then he was really really prepared with his parts, and he even played a little guitar, and so yeah, man, he's his vocals were great, and just a matter of getting used to one another in the studio. I mean, he's I'm not really used to having a lot of opinions on things like vocal arrangements and things like that. I mean, usually it's just sort of me doing my thing. I mean, Eric obviously added a lot to those things, but I guess just over 24 years we had gotten into a routine where we just sort of knew what each other were going to say.
Yeah.
Whereas Rob, he's younger, he's got different ideas, he listens to different bands, and so we kind of had to find our flow there. And like, I think he got to the point where he knew that he could suggest things. And then sort of like once I was decided on what we were going to do, he would back off and do, but again, he got a lot of ideas in, and you don't get those in unless you throw them out there. So yeah, he really did. He did a great job, and he was up every morning ready to go, and that's not always so easy with the rest of us. So that was another positive.
Wicked. I mean, is this? I don't know how to phrase this, so I'm just going to say it. Is it going to be the same kind of? Is it going to sound like a different Bowling for Soup record?
No, it sounds like Bowling for Soup. It's I feel like we there was a bit sort of in the area of Sorry for Partying where we went a little crazy with the bleep bleeps and bloop bloops and things like that. And then we kind of reeled that back in for Lunch Drunk Love and Drunk Dynasty. It's along those same lines of like more back to just simple punk rock, anthemic, drunk enough to dance stuff. Funny, inspiring, a lot of reflection. There's a lot of reflection on the record of just like, wow, I can't believe, because we've just celebrated our 26th year together. It's crazy that by the time when we play a show together, we're going to be on 27 and talking about a 30th anniversary tour, before long. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of that on there too. And then just your fun drinking songs as well. But yeah, they're definitely not going to reinvent the wheel now. It's
too set in stone.
Yeah, we know what we sound like. We know what our niche is, and we're pretty adamant about like if you buy a Bad Religion record or a NoFX record, you know what it's going to sound like, and
yeah.
We feel the same way about Bowling for Soup, and I think a lot of bands in our genre have branched out into other things and changed what they even topically what they talk about and all that, and it's worked great. It's just kind of not our thing,
Yeah.
I think we just sort of latched on to the whole happy, having a beer, being
Good
buddies
vibes.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of why our fan base stays so loyal to us too. It's just you just know what you're going to get.
Do you, when you play those shows, do you notice that fan base growing up with you, or do you still see it as 15, 16-year-olds coming in? Do you know what I mean?
It's weird. It sort of stays the same. But honestly, I mean, our crowds are growing. I mean, we're playing bigger places in the UK than we've ever played.
You play arenas in Wales.
Yes, exactly. Did an arena, and then on the last tour we did, a couple of 4,000 plus seaters. So, like I said, the fan base is growing. There is this cool, 18 to 23-year-old group that, they listen to 1985 in their parents' car, and Phineas and Ferb was a big deal to them. And, and then you've got the old school fans. And so, I mean, there's 3 generations easily coming. And, you have the kid whose dad brought them to a show back when we first started coming over. And now they have a kid and they're all 3 coming to the show. That's super common these days, and you know, that a lot in the UK, but also here in the United States. Whereas, like, you know, people that used to come see us when we were a bar band back in the late '90s, you know, just trying to figure it out. You know, got to think, man, that it's been 25 years ago, and so a lot has happened.
It's a bit of a ride.
Yeah,
You've done
definitely
all the
a bit of sure.
all the Warped Tours. I was going to say
absolutely, you know, and that audience is super loyal as well. You know, one of those things. But yeah, it's from a visual aspect of things. When you're on stage, it looks the same. So it's not like everybody in there got older. It's pretty much, you know, in that age group that you would expect.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the outline of the crowd, though, where you see those dudes that, you know, have seen you 15 times, and they're with a big smile on their face, and they only go to 3 or 4 shows a year, you know, and you're lucky enough to be one of them.
You know, like Bone for Soup 2005 T-shirt, and you're like, yep, all right, cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, faded as shit. Our autographs are on there, and it's just like barely hanging on.
Yeah, definitely, man. You also did a cover recently with a local band, Punk Rock Factory.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Man,
the pipes on you. Whew.
Man, thank you. So I found them on Instagram, and they're just good at social media. And I guess probably what had happened was they probably just started tagging pop punk bands and tagged Bowling for Soup. And so I just, you know, I started liking all their stuff, and I think I probably hit them up and was just like, dude, this is great, whatever. And then they started working on this Disney album, and they just asked me if I'd want to do it. And of course, I mean, I have kids. I have 3 kids, so, you know, it's like I have the kids that, you know, my daughter's about to graduate from high school. She's about to be 18, and then my son is my oldest son is 14, about to be 15, and then I have an 8-year-old. So the gamut of Disney, of like, for my childhood to theirs, and it just being so rampant. You know, it's definitely something that I was excited about. And so when they said that I could do Let It Go, I was just like, fuck it, man. If you're going to go, you go big or go home, right?
Yeah.
And so I was just
Do you have to watch it for research, or had you already previously watched it?
No, man. That song is just, it's embedded in my brain. I've probably heard that song 12,000 times.
It's like Journey's Don't Stop Believing. It's just everywhere.
Right? Yeah, it just everywhere and on all the time. So yeah, I just a couple of lyric things I had to look up, but for the most part, I had it. The hardest thing actually was they use that sort of no effectsy punk beat. That we don't do that. So like it's common in our kind of music, but certain bands do it and certain bands don't. So finding the timing was a bit of a challenge for me at first, because I had to really like set into that, trying to keep with that beat. But it was fun. It was a fun challenge. And dude, I'm so sorry I keep yawning.
Making me
I don't mean to be rude. You're not boring me at all. But yeah, man, and it just came out. They're all such great musicians, and they do everything right. And the way that they shoot their videos is awesome, and the music sounds good, and you know, and they're awesome dudes. So I'm glad that it's been such a great success for them, and I think they're doing a lot of stuff right.
Some great tracks on that album, like
absolutely, yeah,
Whole New World and everything.
Yeah, Whole New World, which is you know, Liv, who I manage, who was formerly of Not Your Girlfriends, and something new coming out very soon.
Oh.
And always cool to be on something with Tony from Mest, and you know, just good company, that's for sure.
Definitely. Speaking of new stuff, you got a Christmas single with Kelly.
Yeah, so as if I don't have enough going on, man, I had started writing that song quite some time ago, actually. And is
it like a Michael Bublé thing where you start doing it in the summer, ready for winter, or was it quite recently?
Well, I started writing that song quite a long time ago, and and we just needed to do something. We haven't done something in a while. She's been super, super busy. She's a radio personality now, and that's kind of a full-time gig. And then frankly, the Dolly Rots have been super busy as well. And so I just was like, man, you know what? We need to release something. So I got this song. I'm just gonna finish it real quick and send it to you and just sing it and send it back to me. And yeah, it literally, like, once I decided to do it, it took about 5 days to get it done, get it to her sing it, me wrap it all up, send it to mix, get it mastered, and all the while I had the video being made from the demo. And so yeah, man, it came together really quick, and the response has been really good. And I just think our two personalities and our voices sort of lend themselves to that kind of thing, you know.
They complement each other.
100%. Yeah, and it's a fun Christmas song, which you kind of can't go wrong. But yeah, the Michael Bublé thing, that's what you got to do, man. Like if Bowling for Soup were to do another Christmas record, like,
it's been a while since you did one, though.
It has been, and we need to start it, and, like, you know, we need to be done by June or July, and it's weird to get yourself in the Christmas mindset.
Well, he only works like what, 1 month a year, I guess, making an album, so he's free most of the year, right? To come to Texas and record.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
That'd be weird having Michael Bublé on a Bowling for Soup record.
Why not?
Christmas album.
You know? Why not? What would be? Yeah, we could do it.
2020, like, it's the weirdest year ever, right?
It's the weirdest year ever.
Definitely. Did the single, did the Bug Rock Factory, did the Bone for Soup. Yeah, man, I think that's roughly about it. Right. I don't know if you guys have it over there. Mince pies, yay or nay?
We do not have it here. No,
okay.
I do not want any part of that. That's minced meat, right?
No, it's like fruit and wine and whiskey and a little pastry.
Oh, no, I would try that. Yeah, I had no idea what that was.
Yeah, no, it's not what it sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. But yeah, I would give it a shot.
Oh, good times. Is that probably keeping all the Soup stuff under wraps? Will that album be out before the tour or round about then, or is it dependent on when you can, if the tour gets pushed back?
Sure. Well, probably some singles first. I mean, I think, you know, with the new model, I don't like it, but I think it's just the way that you have to do it now, whereas you release like 3 or 4 singles and then you release the album. I want to do what's best for the album, because we just didn't do Drunk Dynasty any service. I mean, we kind of just shit that record out and didn't make videos, and it's a bummer because it's a really good record. So I want to make sure that we do this one correctly, and with the changing times with the streaming and all of that stuff, just make sure that we're keeping people engaged enough to get them excited about it. So, you know, I think you'll start seeing singles from it right after the first of the year. And also we're you know, pretty much wrapping up making Songs People Actually Liked Volume 2, which is our second greatest hits of re-recorded hit singles and fan favorites. So
were they recorded the same time as the album?
We actually started that about a year ago. And, during a downtime, and then just got busy and haven't finished it. So then we were going to finish that, and we went and made a new record. And so it's kind of just all being done at the same time now. The one has caught the other, but I think we're further along on the new record than we are on the thing that we started a year and a half ago.
That's how things plan out, isn't it?
100%.
Definitely, man. Jaret, it's been great to talk to you and seeing your face, and hopefully I'll catch you in May. The first amount of live music.
I hope so too, man. Thank you as always, dude, and I'll see you soon.
Catch you later, man. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.